Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, Infiniti showing off this brand new machine, the brand new Q60 Project Black S. Now, the trick of this is basically a Q60, but all the racer boy goodness is there for everyone to enjoy, including the larger wheels and tires, larger braking package, and the massive aero work from this fantastic looking body kit. Now, the real problem is it's pretty much all we know about this particular machine, that it's going to debut at the Geneva Motor Show. There are a lot of rumors that this vehicle is going to continue on with the 3-liter twin-turbocharged V6, but it's going to be hooked up with a hybrid drivetrain, an all-wheel drive, and may make close to 500 horsepower, which is ticking all the right boxes, especially in this super sexy bodywork. So cannot wait to hear more about this once the Geneva Motor Show goes live, which happens just in hours' time. Well, another week goes by and more demon stuff to talk about. In fact, they're showing off the mounting bracket for the racing harnesses themselves. 5-point racing harnesses, you have to mount the shoulder belts in parallel with the shoulders themselves, at least as far as the height is concerned. They actually mount those shoulder belts directly to the floor. If you ever turn the vehicle on its top, it's pretty much going to break your collarbones. That being said, the SRT group has got your back with this brand new bracket, and it's got an impressive feat too. Albeit a lot of the mounting pieces are actually going to be mounted exactly where the seats used to be. There are some pieces that are going to be actually bolted into the B pillar themselves. And the SRT group has done something pretty impressive. They've designed this particular package to be done without actually cutting into a lot of the interior pieces inside of the vehicle, which is going to mean that the interior can remain very, very attractive. Now, that being said, as far as the safety side of things, they got you covered, but let's talk a little bit more about the drivetrain, albeit it's not the part of the drivetrain that's the most sexy. It is everything from behind the transmission, which does have to be heavily reinforced, especially with the amount of stickiness that this Nitto tires are going to be actually being able to put that amount of power to the ground. Now, let's start from the front. The brand new stub shafts on the prop shafts themselves are 20% thicker, and they've all been heat treated to handle upwards of 50% torque ratios. The center section itself has been redone in A383 high temp, high strength aluminum that's actually can be able to run 83 or 86 degrees cooler than the standard unit that's actually done in the Hellcat itself. Along with the interior pieces, that being the shot-peened gears, which are heat strengthened and a lot stronger than regular parts as well, to help out with the demands that this power plant and the traction is going to be out. And of course the half shafts themselves that are larger, heat treated, and 41 spline with 8 ball joints on the ends. This vehicle has been gone through the nth degree, and it needs to be. You don't want these brand new demons to get in the customer's hands and them start shooting out prop shafts and half shafts all over every 1320 across this great nation. So we'll have to wait and see. We got several more weeks before the New York Auto Show, so there's a whole lot more teasing to go on about this machine. Next up on the list, the Koenigsegg folks going to bring a brand new machine to the Geneva Motor Show. This being the brand new Agera RS Gryphon. Now, granted, we've seen a lot of these special edition models, but this one has one in particular, especially that's great for us here in the country that I live in. Right off the bat, this thing comes with the 1 MW optional twin turbocharged 5-liter V8, making 1,360 horsepower and 1,011 pounds-feet of torque. Shipped through a 7-speed automatic gearbox. Vehicle only weighs 3,075 pounds, which means it'll be able to do 0 to 60 in just 2.5 seconds with a top speed that is yet to be tested of around 250 miles an hour. Now, I've given away a lot because this vehicle is actually one of the first Koenigseggs to actually be 50-state road legal to be sold right here in the United States, which means you can buy this thing, enjoy it, drive it on a daily basis if you so desire, right here in the United States. So, no production or pricing has been called out as of yet, but we'll keep you in tune about that information. Next up on the list, Lamborghini showing off a video, and if you want to check it out, it's up on the Facebook page as we speak, of the brand new Huracan Performante. Now, the trick of this video is it shows it just absolutely crushing the 918 Spider, doing a lap of 6 minutes, 52.01 seconds. But there are a lot of people that are already poking holes in the video itself and showing off that this may be somewhat of an impossibility, especially around the fact that the standard Hurricane, this vehicle can go over 30 seconds faster around the Nordschleife limit, which seems like a lot. That being said, the actual 918 Spider and this car actually gets to the gantry roughly the same amount of time, but yet the Lamborghini's slower and still gets there faster. It's kind of interesting to see. The trick is, Lamborghini could be totally on the up and up, and a lot of people just may be a lot of haters as far as this video is concerned. You can check out some of those videos and some of those articles all over the internets, as they're really starting to flood the internets as of yet. Lamborghini, if you made this feat, big congratulations. If you fudged this video a little bit, shame on you guys. Next up on the list, well, if you're watching this in Europe, chances are you've already watched and enjoyed the brand new Season 24 episode of Top Gear. Now, us here in the United States, I'm still a little bit angry about. They have to wait an extra week. But good news, we get to see it a little bit earlier than we thought, which is kind of weird that it's so close to the debut. They've already changed the date, and we only get to see it 24 hours earlier. That it's going to debut on March 12th of 2017 at 8 p.m. Eastern on BBC America. So chances are I'm probably going to end up trying to find it somewhere on the old internets over the next several days ahead of its Sunday debut. Last up on the list, well, if you're a younger person, you see this particular car, and the fellow who's hanging out the window may not know who they are, but if you're an older person, chances are you know exactly who this is. It's famed late actor Steve McQueen in the car that was made famous by the movie that he starred in called Bullitt. Now, what known as the Bullitt Mustang, there was a pair of these that were actually made for the film. One of them being the Star car that's still alive and well in a private collection in Kentucky as we speak. You call it the Star car because up close it's all perfect. It looks really good, especially for tight ISO shots of the actor inside of the machine. But there was a second car that was done for all the chase scenes, the burnouts, and everything else this vehicle had done. And it had long been thought to have actually been in a salvage yard and actually been disposed of back in the late 60s. But apparently this vehicle's been found in Baja, Mexico. At least according to the folks over at Vintage Mustang Forum, where someone has actually put out pictures of a machine. Apparently he bought a pair of Mustangs down in Baja, Mexico, and was going to actually turn this particular machine into an Eleanor clone from the movie Gone in 60 Seconds. Until he really started looking into this vehicle, where it showed a lot of the pickup points for the suspension, and the suspension itself have all been heavily modified to stiffen up the chassis and to beef up the mounting points for the suspension. Also, there's a hole in the left rear wheel well that is thought to be an exhaust port for a generator that was actually mounted in the trunk of the automobile to allow the gases to escape. That generator was actually used so they could have lighting inside of the vehicle so you could see the actor inside of the vehicle, especially in some of the key points. There is a little caveat, at least for me. The first ever DVD I ever purchased was Bullitt. Actually, the first DVD player I actually owned was a PlayStation 2. That being said, on a small little vacation, I actually went out and purchased this DVD. First ever DVD I ever owned. They were really expensive back then, but the movie's not the greatest, but it does have one of the greatest car chase scenes ever on film. So it's going to be exciting to see the vehicle still down in Mexico at a Ford dealership on display, and they're getting a bunch of the information gone through to see whether this vehicle is what it is. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully it is exactly what it is. They'll restore it right back to the way it was back in the late 60s. To think this film was done back in 68 and the two cars could still be in existence would be hugely cool. Love stories like this. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time. Get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.